everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm Cheri Hudson Passey, your host. I am from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and we have a wonderful panel, as we usually do. We've got Mary Kircher Roddy from MKR Genealogy. Hi, Mary.
Hi there. Good to be here.
So good to have you here. We've got Dan Earl, our family history guy. Hi, Dan.
Hey.
Good to have you here, too. We've got Melissa Barker, our archive lady. Hi, Melissa.
Hello, everybody. Great to be here.
Good to have you. And last but not least, and she's in the bottom corner of my screen, is Laura Hedgecock from Treasure Chest of Memories. Hi, Laura.
Hi, everybody.
So good to have you guys here. We are continuing our coverage of Relative Race Season 9, and we just had day 2, which was another day full of relatives, finding their relatives. And, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think this season they may be showing a little bit more of those relatives in the mornings before they leave. It seems like instead of that call and jumping into the car, maybe just a little bit more stuff is going on with the relatives. But I just maybe
although I still think they need to be in the car when the call comes in.
I know, me too.
I thought about you, and I even wondered because they had their, you know, once again they were doing their suitcase, and I'm thinking there's some rule, like you can't be in the car and your suitcases can't be in the car.
I don't know.
There's got to be. And then
That
Team
would-
Green's phone is on the counter, and the phone's ringing. They're going, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" I'm like, why can't you find your phone? You know Dan's gonna call. So, but yeah, they all, like Team Black, they ate breakfast with their family, and that was so sweet. They're there eating breakfast. They got to spend that time together. Team Blue, Rochelle got a wonderful, all those pictures that her aunt had shown her on day 1. She said, "No, these are yours, take them." And I guess her aunt is an author and written a book of poetry.
Yeah. She got her little care package to take.
And they said, when she said, and Rochelle said that she was an author or wanted to be an author or something.
Or was a
So
writer
she
too. Yeah.
was connected with her that way.
I thought that was
They're
great.
both in the fine arts kind of.
And both Team Green and Team Red, they both got it seemed like most of them got pictures to take with them. So
yeah.
Well, and was it Team Green that got the scroll that listed
oh
all
my
the
gosh,
generations?
yes. Somebody,
Yes.
9 generations.
I know.
in Pennsylvania. I mean,
all the way back to the
Franklin County.
1700s, right?
Yeah.
That reminded me of, was it last season or the season before, the genealogist member that gave them
Right.
family history.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's fun when they, you know, I don't know if Relatives Race prepared that for them and said, "Here, show that to them," or if that was something that her aunt had done. So I just thought that was so great.
Did anybody else notice that whenever they pulled that out, it was in a tube and it was rolled up, but then in the car it was framed?
Yeah.
Oh, I
did
missed
see
the
that.
car part.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was just
Because
I thought it was just open in the back seat.
No, it's in a frame.
Yeah, because otherwise it would have rolled itself back up.
Oh,
It was
Like,
out
when
there.
did they
You
have
could,
time to
you
put it
could
in a
see the
frame?
thing.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
very
okay.
interesting. I loved the pictures that Team Red got. She got the pictures that said, "Oh my gosh, I look like them." I just thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
And at first
She
I
looked like her
misunderstood
grandfather.
because and his name was Red.
Red.
How funny is that? And then she
Yeah.
says, "Look at my baby picture." And at first I misunderstood. I thought they gave her a baby picture that she hadn't seen before,
no.
but it was
Yeah.
just, "This is my baby picture." And look,
Yeah.
look at my ears.
The
and look
ears,
at-
yeah. And
So
then I
they-
couldn't do anything but look at her ears. I'll tell you.
I
know.
know, that's what you look at. Oh gosh. But yeah, that was really sweet how they all started out with things, you know, to keep them going. So
Was it like that in the early seasons? Because it seems like since I've been watching, not the first season I watched, but not the first season, but the first season I watched. It's like the next season is when families started giving things. So did they do that in the early seasons?
Sometimes, just depending on the family, and sometimes.
Okay.
Well, and that's interesting about I mean, since we're talking about gifts,
Yeah.
that the first place prize is money and time to go buy a gift for the family that they're going to meet.
They've got
That's an
15 minutes to
interesting
spend $400. What?
Yeah.
You know, where are they
Well,
gonna
I could
send
do
them?
that. Just go to
Well,
the
I mean, I can
bookstore.
do that, but I'm thinking in a
I
race
couldn't do
situation.
that.
But are they
I
going to
used
know the
find it
relative?
someone-
I know that was the part that I
Yeah,
thought was kind of weird. Will they get it? after, but after they've met their relative, that, I mean,
No, they said before.
And then they
went
wouldn't need the
into-
15 minutes. And
yeah.
if they shop in less than 15 minutes, does that still get deleted from their time? So if they go and they like run into a dollar store and get a couple candy bars, and then it takes them like a minute, and then they're back on the road, do they get 14 minutes off? Like that's
Plus
strategically, that's
$398
my
in their
thinking,
pocket.
right? That's what I would do, and just be like,
Yeah.
hey, I still have $398 that we can spend now that I've met you. Let's go get some steaks. You know,
There
like
we
that's-
go. There we go. Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, Laura.
but I thought they said they're going to do it before they meet the relatives.
I think they are.
I think they
yeah,
are, but how do you know what to buy?
Somebody?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't do that. I mean, I think my husband was like, so they go to CVS and get a Visa gift card. Because how do you shop for someone you don't know who
Right.
they are?
You don't know the gender, the age,
yeah.
Yeah,
much
none
less
of that.
the interests of the people.
No,
Yeah.
that would be, I
Mm.
can't pick out a greeting card in under 15
In 15 minutes, let alone a gift, right? Right. So this is
So
That's
somebody
you
going to be
know.
interesting to see.
really
let's,
interesting.
You know, the prize for last night's episode was you didn't have to take a city selfie, but am I wrong? Didn't they all take a city selfie?
No,
No.
it was Team Black that didn't have to, but they took a picture of themselves
Car and sent it to Team Blue.
in the
Okay,
car.
gotcha.
So that's
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
so
I
they
don't know
did
why
their
I thought
selfie in the
when
car.
I saw Dan scrolling that I saw all of them, but okay.
Yeah, that's probably they may have sent that to him, but yeah.
Okay.
So we got a little trash texting a little bit started.
bit.
You know, we'll have to see if
Yeah.
they continue with that. I mean, it was just fun. It wasn't anything bad. Did you love how they were a little bit Team Black? They were a little bit confused about north, south, east, and west.
That would be me. That would be
That
me.
was
I'm
But I'm trying to
horrible.
see if I can read my writing. What Dan said. He said they were embracing their basic knowledge of the Earth's rotational power.
I thought that was a fun comment from the other Dan.
Yeah, I thought that was from the other day. That was pretty funny. Yeah. So yeah. So I like when they show them in the cars because that helps us get their personalities. But then we've got Team Red and they're just like sunglasses.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We are focused. Don't bother us. We are getting to our relative's house. So I thought that
Team
was
Blue had the whole
Team
musical
Blue,
thing going
I thought
on.
it was so funny because the male cousin Hakeem, he was singing.
Kareem.
Kareem.
Huh?
Kareem.
I'm sorry. Kareem, he was, and I thought, how long is it going to be before she smacks him? And she joins in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasper. Jasper.
That would drive me crazy. I'm sorry.
I know, I would have like,
But I said, yay, we've got another musical team.
Yeah.
It's going to entertain us in the car with their singing. So that's always fun. So I really love it when they show the clips in the car because it, just shows personality and things
Yeah,
like that.
it does.
And then, and you know what I love about Team Green is they came so prepared. They did bow and arrow training. They studied.
Oh, I heard
math.
that.
They brought those binoculars.
Okay, my husband laughed at the bow and arrow training. Like, what's up with that?
Well, because they've done so many challenges where that would have come in handy in the past. So I guess they just decided that they were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of challenges, who on earth came up with that challenge? I mean, I understand the
I don't know.
paintball, right? I understand the paintball. And there was the tower, right? And they had to hit the little squares of the tower with the paintball to open it up enough so corn was coming out with the key. And I'm like, okay,
You know,
this
I can
brilliant
see-
idea wasn't to put corn in there.
I could see them trying to get this to work, and they were trying to
Yeah.
find something that would be heavy enough
Yeah.
that would come out, I guess.
Right.
And so maybe that's where they came up with the corn.
Maybe. And somebody mentioned it's a good thing it wasn't cream corn.
It looked like popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popcorn
Yeah.
kernels.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was. I don't know, but it's just really funny. And then if they didn't get it, and there was more than one key, right? So they could find a key, but it might not be the right key. And then if they didn't get it on the first three, they had to turn the tower around and start on the other
I
side.
think there was a key on each side, and
Probably.
that really made me interested in the strategy
Yeah.
because they had to turn it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think of it, maybe you want to turn to side 3 because that's probably where the key is.
Yeah, because you didn't get. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good. And
Well,
you
I
don't
had
think. I'm
another-
sure they don't think of things like that in the rush.
Right.
I've got another observation, and someone who has ever done paintball would have to say something, because I looked at that paintball gun and I know that where the part is where you load the paintballs were in, but as many paintballs as they were using, don't you know that they had to stop and reload?
They had to have. Laura,
But they
Laura
never
just
showed any of
commented
that.
that this game was not going to make it into the Relative Race
Oh, our book,
Yeah.
yes.
book of games. We would put cream corn in there if it was ours.
Cream corn.
That's what we would do. We would
We
change it
would
up a
put
little.
it in, we would put the corn and the key in balloons and let them shoot bow and arrows.
Yes, that's the one.
I love to shoot
Yeah.
bow and arrows. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. The
So then
GenFriends.
after they
Yeah.
got their keys and they
Yeah.
got onto they lifted the board thing and
Yeah.
had one of those puzzles.
Slide puzzle. Yeah.
Yes. And then Mary, go
Everybody
ahead.
else looked underneath it except then Team Green like turned
I
all the
know. And I was like,
pieces
oh, don't
over.
do that. I was
Yeah.
screaming at the TV.
I
"Don't
know, me
do
too.
that."
Get underneath it. Get underneath it.
That would
That
be
was
funny to
costing them
read.
time.
It would be interesting to read what Team Green thought of that now that they've watched the episode
that
and
they've
saw how the
watched
other
it.
teams handled it.
Yes. So
Well, now you think
Angie,
about it. If you're going,
if you guys watch this, let us know how you
It's been-
thought about when
Yeah,
you saw the
yeah.
rest of the teams just slid underneath and read their address off and you completely put your puzzle back together. Let us know. That's too funny. That's too funny. Anybody else want to say anything else about the challenge? They all did well, really. They all did
Yeah,
well. It was
they
just
did
that
well.
one little slip up.
Really a
Cheri?
short time span in between
Mhm.
first and
Yeah.
fourth.
Oh.
Yeah.
it was really tight.
Absolutely with this. Absolutely. Before we get to the results, let's talk about who they met. I've got to say, I loved everybody's relatives, but I really, really loved Rochelle. I really loved Team Blue. And the reason why is because she was discovering so many things that she had in common with her father's family.
Mhm.
And one of the things she learned was what her name, that family's name, the paternal family's name was. So she learned that, and she didn't know that before, because she met her uncle, her dad's brother. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. So last week they got a picture with those uncles. Well, those
Yes. Brothers.
uncles, maybe her dad in there, right? That her aunt gave her. The mom's got to be alive because somebody's had to say, no, it's not this one, or this one. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking maybe her mom said, this is the dad. I don't know. What do you
They could have
think?
gotten all the brothers to take DNA tests.
Well, I guess, yeah.
No.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping it was because her mom was alive.
Yeah. I mean,
She
but
said who
yeah.
the dad was. Yeah, you're right.
I'm hoping
accountant is
anyway,
going
yeah.
to the numbers part.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. But obviously, they know. I guess is what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
know it's not going to be some kind of process of elimination of this one wasn't in the area or this one's dead or this. They know for a surety which one, or else they wouldn't have had her meet an uncle so quickly. I don't think.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them. They could do several days of uncles.
They sure could. They sure
Yeah.
could. They could do several days of uncles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the sweetest part about this is the dance off they had, because
Oh,
he
that was cute.
was so cute. They were just, he says, do you think you could out dance me? And she goes, yeah. So there they were out dancing. I thought that was sweet.
And her
That was very
beautiful
sweet.
hair just looked
Oh, yeah.
so
Oh,
fun.
it was wonderful. And their connection, I think, was real sweet. I mean, he immediately pulled her in and loved on her, and she loved on him, and was so happy to meet him and find out the different things. And it must be so hard for him not to tell her more. I think it must be hard for each of the relatives.
I'm sure it is.
They probably have, you can only say this much. You know more, but you can only say this much.
The part that, I mean, he said how much she looked like his mother. That was
Yes.
so sweet.
He says,
just
I'm
love
looking at my
that.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then,
That means a
of course,
lot.
and then of course her cousin, big brother, as he likes to call himself, he was just crying.
Mm.
You know, he was so touched by that connection that they had made. And then he said, I know that she's always going to be taken care of, because if I'm not there, she's got these uncles that can take care of her no matter where she is. And I just thought, oh, it's like, you made me cry. It was so sweet. It was really,
Very
really
sweet.
sweet.
That was a good one.
Does anybody want to move on to one of the other teams? Which
I
connection?
well,
I really enjoyed Team Blacks this week.
Oh,
I thought-
okay.
So Leighton met her cousins,
Mhm.
whose names were Jacob and Brayden,
Yeah.
and they were the sons of the aunt she met last week.
Yes.
And what I really enjoy, I mean, at first it was just a little bit like it always is. Oh, you just met people, but it's like she fell into a rhythm with them.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And by the
Mhm.
time the episode was over, like
They were
she was
joking.
giving them
And
a hard time. Like
Yeah.
I was hoping to stay in this family.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really cute.
I really liked that. And the other thing I liked about was the way she expressed her need. She said she wanted to increase the people in my life that I can care for and who can care for
Yes.
me.
Mm.
And I loved it. It was just because
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that really is the definition of family, whether it's blood or
Mhm.
adopted
Yeah.
family or friends who are as
Right.
family. It's really the people you care the most for.
Exactly.
So I thought that was really,
Yeah. They were sweet together. They really were
And-
sweet together.
and the thing that I didn't catch on last week, maybe the rest of y'all did, that her dad, Brian, was
Mhm.
only 16 when he gave her.
16. They didn't say that last week, but
Yeah.
remember I said I think he was really young. And so yeah, she
Mhm.
did say 16. Well, no wonder.
That is
Yeah.
so young. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well, even
basically-
when the cousin saw a picture of the pictures that she had of him,
Mhm.
they said, "Oh, he doesn't look anything like that. He's so much older." And I'm thinking, he's probably my age.
Right. They're like, that was from 2000. I was like, so he's 22 years older?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're-
Oh, but we can't
that's 'cause
forget
you're a
about
teacher,
your
Dan. You're good at the math.
yeah, that's right.
Thank
He's
you.
a teacher.
I do what I can.
We can't forget about them in the car though, because she was talking to Kyle about what she would say to Brian if she met him,
Yeah.
and talking about how she would thank him for making that decision, because there was no way at 16 that he could, be a father to her, but that how much she appreciated the fact that he wanted to stay connected in some way, so that he wrote those letters and that she could read them later. So I thought that was beautiful how she was.
It was
It
beautiful.
was.
And she's I think very wise and very intentional about, like, she goes into these, I mean, it's a sense of adventure too, but she has this intentionality of, here's how I want to start this relationship off. I want to, and you heard it in her prayers as well, that
Oh yes.
I want to make sure they understand my gratitude.
Mhm.
There's just tons of that kind of,
Right.
Don't you
forethought.
imagine she's been thinking and planning this for so long that,
But she hasn't. She only found out a year ago.
There's a whole
Yeah, but-
intentionality about it with the way her parents have given her this
true.
information.
Mhm, mhm.
I think it's a pattern of behavior that
Mhm.
she
Maybe
was
so, yeah.
raised with, maybe.
I think so too. And
There
she's
was-
got all those pictures and letters with her, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Is that she's brought them with her on the journey. And so then she's sharing those with the relatives that she meets. And I think that's really interesting too, that she's doing
Yeah.
that. So, and
There
the
was
boys were
something
like,
with
what? You only found out,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were shocked at the story. I'm sorry, Melissa.
That's okay. There was something with the black team that I don't know if anybody else but me noticed it, but her soon-to-be husband is very much the gentleman.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They came out of the post office. What did he do?
Hold the car door for her.
They opened the car door for her. I thought, oh, he is a keeper.
Yeah.
He is a keeper. He is
I
a
don't know.
keeper.
He might cost her $50,000.
Just get in the darn car.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
funny, Laura. Mary, you were gonna say something when I said, does anybody want to talk about one of the teams?
Okay. I feel kind of a little.
That's okay.
I was only going to say that Team Red went the wrong way. I wanted them to come north from Eugene. And they went south. They went down to Medford. So
Oh, the wrong way
drive.
towards
Yes,
you.
right,
Yeah.
right.
She's following them on the map because that's
Yes,
where
yes,
she's from.
yes.
Oh gosh. So we
I
had a
don't know,
bunch of
Oregon looks beautiful.
yeah,
Well,
gorgeous,
and
gorgeous.
okay, so there's a place in Medford, or just right outside of Medford, a cheese factory, the Rogue River Cheese Company, that has got such good cheese. And then right next door is a chocolate place.
Oh
And
my
we
God.
always stop because I drive to California. I mean, I have to go see my family.
Too bad
and
we
that's-
couldn't have
that's
texted
like the
them and
stop,
said,
so-
stop there and
I
eat.
know.
Yeah.
I said to my husband, you know where we'd be stopping.
That's too funny.
So,
Team-
so
go
yeah,
ahead.
I guess if they won the prize, they could just go to the cheese factory and spend
There we go.
$400 on
See?
cheese. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of Team Red, we've got more cousins that she was able to meet, and they got to go. She was really worried because they said, do you like, fast things and thrill rides? And
Right.
she was freaking
Oh.
out because
I would have too, because I'm
Tiffany was
definitely
saying,
scared of
I
heights,
don't
too.
want to, I don't like roller coasters. What are they going to make me do? And it just turned out that it was go-karting. So even that I can't even do bumper cars. I get stuck. And so I would not have looked good doing that on TV. So, but it looked like they had a really, really good time. And then they went back and talked about her mom and how her cousin didn't know much about her mom, just knew that she had moved to Alaska and hadn't seen her for a while. And so couldn't tell her much. She probably knows more than she could tell, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
But
Yeah. And I think they did say it was Central California where I think it was around Modesto, wasn't it, where the family came from?
where the family came from. And
Yeah,
she had
yeah.
that picture of her mom and her mom's siblings and the grandparents
Yeah.
too. So, and again, that family resemblance, you could see it in that big picture. Yeah,
Yeah,
you could see
yeah.
it. So that's just got to mean so much to see a picture of somebody that you just look at and go, they've got to be family because they look like me,
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's going to be, a beautiful thing that you're going to be able to connect with and everything's going to be completely roses, but still, it's got to be just something to be
Well,
able
one
to
thing
see
I
that.
wrote down as I was watching this show, and it seems like a lot of the contestants are seeing that likeness or the traits or something.
Mhm,
And I wrote
mhm.
down, we take for granted our family traits and likenesses,
Oh, yeah.
because especially if you're not adopted, we just
Mhm,
kind of take them for granted that that's our family. That's what we do. That's what we look like.
Mhm.
That's what we have.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
And especially if we don't love everything about our appearance, we don't think of it as, oh, this means I belong. We think of it as, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the nose,
That's a good point. That's a good point. And that's something Dan had mentioned too at the other Dan.
the other Dan.
Not our Dan, but the other Dan, when they when they met together and Leighton was introducing her cousins, and Dan says, that one sitting next to you guys have the exact same nose. And Kyle was like,
Yeah.
I just told them that. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. So we haven't done Team Green in the family, and that's another cousins, and they met when they get there.
They got a whole
meet the
house
cousin,
full.
and then he brings her
Yeah.
in. Yeah, a whole
Yeah.
house full of people sitting
Yeah.
there. And
Well, I thought it was interesting that
go ahead.
like they were talking about where she grew up, and I guess it was just down the road. They're like, we probably passed each other or saw each other,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
we've seen that in multiple seasons now, where you've
Yes.
got somebody that lives close to where these biological relatives are, and
Mhm.
it makes you wonder who we're walking past down the street, or if that jerk that cut me
Yes.
off is
Who cut me off?
Yeah.
Well, what was really
Yeah.
funny too is when they get to the results, Kelly says, well, it doesn't matter if we have to go home because we can just walk.
Yeah.
They actually passed their exit to their house
That's
Yeah.
where
funny.
they
Yeah.
live as they were traveling. So I thought that was really funny. I thought, don't put that out there. You can
I
just-
think
Yeah.
if you looked at that
Push.
big chart, the 9 generations, they said at least 7 of the generations had been in Lewisburg County. So like
Yeah.
in one
Well,
county, like
It was
Sounds like my
Yeah.
ancestors. Nobody went
I know.
anywhere.
Yeah.
not mine.
Mine stayed in one place until
Yeah,
I always
boy.
laugh and say until my dad joined the Air Force, nobody went anywhere. Maybe they ventured off to like North Carolina from South Carolina, but then they came back. So nobody went anywhere.
I've got a couple of lines of my family that stayed in one place and some that just went everywhere. So
Yeah, it's very
So
interesting.
my husband's side is the side, they were the pioneers, the adventurers, the homesteaders. My mother and father's, I was the first person to be born outside of Virginia since 16 something.
Oh my God.
wow.
And most
So
of them
that
were in
sounds like
Williams-
Team Green's family, right? No wonder they were
Yeah,
just all,
yeah.
it was mind blowing to her. It was like, oh my gosh, they all were just living around me. And again, she got more pictures and more information about her family, and they all did. That was one thing that they all got, was a little bit
A
more
little something, yeah.
information. They got last names, they got mother's names, they got, just another bit. And I just think, like I said before, it must be so hard for those relatives not to go, but wait, we can also tell you this because we know you don't know it. Anthony, which was
Karen or Kareem and Rochelle's
yeah,
uncle.
you know that he knows who the father is.
Well,
So,
yeah.
and so-
I've noticed too that the teams are not necessarily not asking a tremendous amount of questions.
Well, there's a
I
lot
know,
of
and
And
the
maybe
past.
asking and edit it out too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
asking
we
and
just
them
don't
saying,
see that.
we can't tell you that, and then they have
Yeah,
to edit
yeah.
that part out. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
a good point, Mary. That could very well be what's going on with that.
Yeah,
don't
I mean, when
know.
you hear him talk about the filming, it is like all day.
It is,
Oh,
yeah.
With the
right,
production
right.
crew.
And then we only
So-
get that little
Right,
bit.
right. Yeah.
But again, this year, if you're not in the Fans of Relative Race Facebook page, I would recommend that you go and join that because they share pictures. They started us, I think, last year, just a lot of pictures from the day, things that we don't see. Yeah. So if you want to see a little bit more, go and check out those pictures because you get a little bit better view really of the kind of things that they were doing, and they're fun. They're really fun pictures. So join that. So we're going to promote the Fans of Relative Race Facebook page.
It's a great
This is
Facebook page.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, and it's and a lot of the team members join. A lot of the older season team members are on there. So it's a really fun
Previous.
community. I'm sorry, Laura.
previous, not old.
Oh yeah, previous. yeah, you can tell. This is why Laura's the writer. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for editing my comment. And that's exactly what I should have said. Didn't mean to offend anybody. Let's talk about the results. I mean, I get so involved, and then all of a sudden I go, "Oh, that's right. We got to do we got to do the results." So you're sitting there going, "Oh, this has been such a good episode," and then you're like, "Oh, we gotta make sure nobody gets kicked off tonight." It's too early for anybody to get kicked off. But they were close. Dan, you were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
How close it was. There was only.
Yeah. It was,
I
what was
think-
it, 17 minutes?
17 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
17 minutes and 3 and 4 were like 3 minutes, the difference. And I felt so bad because when Team Black got that strike, I thought it was that prayer.
Or it was
They
Kyle
need to say
opening
the
the
prayer in
door
the
like
car.
Laura
They
said.
need to do
Yeah.
the prayer, but they need to do the prayer once they know that they're on the street.
They had stopped the clock. No, they were in the driveway. The clock
Yeah,
had
they were in the
stopped.
driveway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kidding. I just
Yeah.
It
must
was
have been
Kyle
the prayer.
opening the door like Laura
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yes, it was Kyle. Kyle stopped opening the door.
Well, Dan did kind of the funny there, though. He said,
Oh yes.
Team Black, you were first
I know.
last week.
Last week.
That was a little mean.
Yeah.
That was a little.
Was.
That was funny. That was really, really funny. But again, like we said, that whoever came in first last night gets that 15 minutes
Oh man,
and
yeah.
the $400. Like I'm just. That's what I'm gonna be watching for next week intently. What on earth and how? Because they've
What are you
never
gonna
done
buy?
anything. They've
Mhm.
never done anything like that before.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
It's
just
an
don't
unusual
even-
prize.
I just
If
don't
you were
even
gonna,
know.
okay, I'll put it to you this way: if you were gonna meet a family member that you'd never met before, you don't know which family member it is. What would you buy them for $400?
Well, see, if I knew I was going to do that, I would bring salmon or something from the place where I live.
Yeah.
Oh, I got
Something
you.
that I could share with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, shopping at some random store in a place I've never been before and have no idea who I'm going to give it to, I don't know. That's going to seem
Unless you
weird.
can find some like beautiful sculpture or something that depicts family, you know?
Yeah, but it's still a style. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
art is so
Yeah,
subjective.
I agree. Or maybe you can buy them a camera so they can take all these new pictures of the family. I don't know.
Or something you could do together with them.
Something you could
I
do
don't-
together. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you
Ooh,
don't know
it'd be
how
really
many
funny. You
there
guys in the
are.
comments, our viewers in the comments, what you would buy. We want to
Yeah.
see what you would buy and see if anybody guesses and is right. I wish we could give you a prize, but
So $400.
We could
Not in our
just-
budget.
we could just
Yeah.
cheer you on. But that would be fun. If anybody has any ideas, put them in the chat. Because this is the
I'm
first
going to
time.
go with $400 of chocolate since that was Mary's
Ooh,
suggestion.
maybe they could just
Yeah, I
hand
like
them the
that.
$400. I don't know. Say, we don't
Yeah,
know what
well-
you want.
Because the way that it was worded was you get 15 minutes off your time and $400 to go shopping.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that if you spend less than 15 minutes shopping, you still get that time
Yeah.
off of your time. So I would just, and you just because you have 400 to spend doesn't mean that you need to spend all 400,
True.
right?
There you go.
So, and if these relatives have been waiting for me for a long time, I think a couple of Snickers bars would be satisfactory. It says it right on there. Sticker
That's right.
satisfies.
That's right.
There you go. There you
Not a
go. I
sponsor.
love it. I love it. That's really good. I can't wait. I can't wait till next time when we come back in day 3 so we can talk about what
Yeah, I can't wait to
happened
see.
and see if any of us were even close to what happened. So I'm wondering if there are going to be a whole bunch of different kind of new things this year with the
I don't know.
I don't know. I
So
don't
far, it's
know.
been good.
And so far it's been really good. So Team Blue comes in first. So they're the ones that are going to be able to buy something for their
Or
relative.
some unknown relative.
Some
Yeah.
unknown relative.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Because you don't know if it's going to be her father.
Yeah,
Right.
or another
Or her
uncle or somebody
mother,
on her mother's
or-
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think your dad, you'd want to get 2 Snickers bars, but like an uncle would be like 1 Snickers bar. I think that's like, you know, like paper anniversary, things like that. I think there's like a, you know, who becomes the queen, you know, of England or whatever. Like you got to like, there's a list of, you know,
I gotcha.
dads
Okay.
get 2 Snickers bars, you
That's
know.
If
funny.
you're meeting your dad, you get
Uncles.
2. Okay.
If it's a cousin, you snap that bad boy in half, you know. If it's a second cousin, they get a quarter of it. Like it's
Oh
just,
my
you know,
goodness.
I'm sure there's a chart somewhere.
I think that's your next published book is the
Yeah, there we
chart of
go.
The chart of Snickers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gift
Oh my
giving with
gosh.
Dan.
then Team Red came in second place. So they've gone from 3rd to 2nd now. And they said, okay, next week, we're going to
First
go
place.
right up
Yeah.
to 1, right? And then, you know, it was down to green and black and Team Green came in. I'm glad because they already had 1 strike. You don't want anybody to have 2
No.
strikes. I mean, you never want anybody. I'm sorry that Team Black got the strike, but you don't want a team, especially this early on, to
Right.
get a second strike because
Yeah.
that's just not good. You never want anybody to go 1, 2, 3. And I think that there's been a time when that's happened before. So we don't want that to ever
No,
happen.
we don't like that.
Yeah. You want the first 4 weeks, every team gets a strike. Then, you know, next 4 weeks, everybody gets a strike, and then you're good. Then
And
you
they're
know,
good, yeah, all the way through. You know, there's got
You know,
to.
you could
there's
plan
gotta
it
be.
if they really wanted to work together. They could just say, "All right, we're going to pull off to the side of the road for 20 minutes so far wait for the strike. We're trusting in the process here." You know,
$50,000 would buy a lot of Snickers bars though, Dan. So, you know, there is that.
that's true.
He'll have it figured out in a minute how many it can actually buy. So I don't know about you guys, but I noticed a couple of new songs this year. Did you notice when they were, especially when Rochelle and her uncle were dancing? I don't think I've ever heard that song before. And there was another one, I can't remember where it was played. And so I think they may have, I still miss the face-to-face song, and I don't know why they don't use it anymore. It could have been a copyright thing, and maybe they just didn't allow them to continue using it. I have no idea. But you remember that one? That one used to get me every time. Just get me every time. But I don't know. I think there were a couple of new snippets of songs. I didn't recognize them. So
Right over my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, me too.
I just figured I had never heard them before because I'm just not cool. I'd not really feel like.
Well, no, I mean, it wouldn't be a song that anybody, I'm just saying, new background songs that they're playing. So next,
Yeah.
and anybody watching, were they new songs or was it me? Was I hallucinating? Because, I might have been. So, but listen next week and see if you hear any songs that you don't remember them playing before. So, but I thought there were, and I tweeted out, I said, are these new songs? And I just got a love thing back from Rootstack. I mean, not from Rootstack, from Relative Race. So I don't know if they were just going, poor thing, or if they were happy, or if they were just happy that I noticed, you know what I mean? So I don't know. There was no confirming nor denying. So, anyway, so yeah, here we are, day 2, and we've got 2 teams with strikes, which, that's good because we don't want it any other way. It had to be, right? And hopefully somewhere along the way this season, we'll get another day where there's no strikes, because we'll do that from time to time.
Yeah.
They will do that. So that's really good. So anybody else got anything else to say about anything that happened that maybe pops into your head that we didn't talk about? It was another good day. Setting them up to meet, they're setting them up. They really are setting them up to meet, hopefully, those biological parents that I didn't hear anything that would say this is not going to be possible. And sometimes even by day 2, we know that biological parent has passed away, and I didn't hear anybody talking about a biological parent in that type of past tense that would lead to maybe they were not, alive anymore. So there's still hope for all of them to meet their biological parents. And so,
well, have we met? Okay, so Team Black was on the same side, the relatives.
Yes.
Team Blue is on the same side,
right? Paternal, yeah.
Right. Team Red
was the
is
same side because
same side.
Yep.
And Team Green,
and that was her mother's side. Team Red, that was her maternal side, because they were talking about her mom.
Yeah.
And then Team Green, that's her paternal, because remember, she learned her what her name would have been had she not been adopted. It was
Mayo. So she's the only one that's different.
Yeah.
The other ones. So because mom's family might not very well know what happened with dad's family and couldn't say.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe, maybe we still have some big sadness to come, but so far everything looks good. But anyway,
another good episode.
It was a good episode. They're just building. You can just feel that it's just building, and at this point you're starting to get excited, and then as it goes, you're just getting really excited because they really start narrowing down and pointing, and eventually they've got to meet this person. So I'm excited for all of them. I'm excited for all of them. And again, go ahead, Laura. What'd you say?
It's a different facet this year in that we have to anticipate some excitement from family. So not just the people looking for their family, from the parents that were also have been wanting this to happen forever.
Yes.
In a lot of seasons, it's the parents were not actively searching, or a couple of them didn't even know they'd had a child. And
exactly. Yeah.
So especially in Brian, we have this person who, so
if we don't meet Brian, I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to be very upset too. That's going to be quite the reunion. And all of them, I don't know that Rochelle's, because nobody's really said, has anybody said to her, we knew you were out there? I don't think they have. I don't think that. So I think that's going to be a different one. But the others, all of them have met relatives and said, oh, we've always known about you.
Yeah.
We have looked for you. Yeah. We've always known about you. She's not been told that. So I don't know that her father knew of her, because Anthony,
but she's not met mother's family yet.
Right.
So
but she hasn't met her. Exactly. So that could be that for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that makes sense that week 1, it could be any one of my brothers.
Yes.
So obviously there was no talking about.
There was no talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and again, I just love that supportiveness that they've had from the majority of them, from their adoptive parents that are supporting this journey for them, and them saying, I'm loving, I'm being able to add to my family. I've got this good family I was raised in, and now finding my biological family, that's just giving me more people to love and add to my family. So I love that.
Yeah.
I've always, once they started doing that, because the first few seasons, you never heard a word about any of the families that they were raised in. It was almost like they just, broke up with that family and decided to, you know what I mean? It was kind of like you never heard anything about them. And so I'm loving that they're embracing the entire family instead of just one portion of the family. So that makes me happy. But anyway, thank you for your thoughts. And we have given our viewers some assignments to to help us out and leave some messages, and anybody from the teams that are watching this, we would love to see if you can answer any questions that you're allowed to answer at this point in time. We would love to hear from you too. So we will see you next time on GenFriends, and we'll talk about day 3 of Relative Race season 9. Okay. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.